All right, well, we're here for the behind the scenes of the rope jump that we just did in South Africa.
I'm picking my nose.
Oh, we can stay with that one. Welcome to the behind the scenes of rope jump that we just did in South Africa at Magwa Falls, which I think turned into sort of a hellish production for us.
It was the most difficult, amazing trip I've ever been on. Between the weather and gear breaking, you know, radios and batteries not holding charge, and all of the other, you know, minor setbacks, and also having to retire ropes and go get new ropes. And by the time that we got through all of those little setbacks, I think we probably made about 1 jump per day. So if you consider that we made, you know, 15 to 20 jumps, it took us about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to film this video.
There was other unforeseen setbacks. For example, this. So today we woke up to find that there was a riot this morning, and they've put roadblocks everywhere. So it's like day 5, and we want to get this shot off and ready to go. So we're going to help these guys clear the streets. So because of Mike's awesome efforts here, we've been able to sort of open up the town. So we're just gonna wait for Mike.
I feel like I lost an eyebrow.
A lot of people ask, you know, how we ended up going there or how we found that waterfall. As basically like a scavenger hunt for us. Mike usually goes up online, scouts out a location. We thought South Africa would be a rad place to sort of have some great terrain features. So he gets on his computer, looks at Google Earth, and then spots like a potential little blip in the terrain. It's like, yeah, that'd be good. And so we sort of mark it down. I'm like, okay, let's see what happens here.
Okay,
yeah, perfect.
This one here.
David. Okay. So, thank you.
So you got every word that he said, right?
Said something about 10 feet.
You covered it well.
We just literally went down on a whim with a few ideas of spots, and we strolled up upon Magwa Falls there, and we're like, done.
Magwa, just the setting lends itself to the rope jump very, very well. It's a much easier setup, which still is not easy at all when you're looking on a scale, you know, 600, 700 feet. Everything that big becomes a lot more difficult. You're talking about, you know, 200-meter ropes, and they're harder to find. You know, everything when you scale it up to be that big is just difficult. Nothing is fast. You know, even walking from one side of the canyon to the other is not just a, you know, quick, oh, let me go from here to there to check that knot or to do anything. You know, you can't speak across the canyon, so everything's done on radio, and there's a lot that goes into it. So basically, we would start off with two 200-meter lines, and basically Andrew would be on one side of the canyon, I'd be on the other, and we would both wrap down into the bottom of the canyon.
So here we are halfway down. Basically, we're just sort of making sure the rope doesn't get tangled on the little ledges as we go further down. We save us a lot of time in the long run. Alright, so we're down at the bottom now, about 500 feet. And now I'm going to run the line over to an awaiting line that Mike's hooked up here. And from there we're going to send it back up to the top. So now we've got the first water span in the cliff. And then after that he's going to send the right back down and we're going to get hauled out of here.
Oh yeah! Once you have one line across the canyon, everything becomes much easier. It's basically just a matter of pulling the lines that you want across.
Alright, so Mike's 3/4 of the way over there. And since it's just a two-man job this, I'm now gonna run around the canyon and pull his lazy bows up the other side. I think he needs to lose some weight.
Yo dude,
Ready to come up?
there's a crab right here that's just chilling on the rocks, like living on the extreme.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.
All right, hold on. Just hold me right there.
Yeah.
Because it's at this point, it'll be easier for me.
Yeah. Yeah. How was it? Fingers
bad.
too sore?
What's that?
Nice job. Thanks, man. Film this guy here. This is our photographer and rope puller.
Slash lifesaver.
Yeah. Get him with the camera. I'll get him. And this is our other cameraman here. Yeah. This is our other lifesaver cameraman. What's up?
Okay.
You're a little out of breath.
So what we jumped on the whole time, we had two systems set up in case one failed. You always have a backup. So we pulled two lines across and measured out where we wanted the jump lines to be attached, then pulled them back across, attached the jump lines, pull them back out, and reattach everything. People want to know the name rope jumping. What is rope jumping? Rope jumping is basically a combination of a free fall and a pendulum swing. So a lot of the other videos that you see called rope swings aren't actually a rope swing. A rope swing you release from and you land in water. Then you have a pendulum swing, which is essentially a rope swing, but you don't release from it. You just, swing back and forth. And then a rope jump is basically shock loading ropes. It's bungee jumping on a dynamic rock climbing rope. And so what we did here is combining a rope jump with a pendulum swing, and there's much less impact to your body. I do want to stress the safety of this system. So when you're doing this, please don't set this up if you don't fully understand how the system works. Don't set it up if you think that you're going to be able to jump it on a gree-gree, and that is how it works. One of my heroes died rope jumping, and so we always, every time we do it, we make sure that there's a secondary system in place so that if the main does break, there is another safe way out. If you do set it up, I hope you have as much fun as we did.
I'm ready to go back.
3, 2, 1.
He tripped!
Some people have asked why we're jumping with all that rope attached to our back or whatever. Basically, it's not that much rope compared to what's actually attached to the actual rope jump. And that's strictly for when you come down and you finish swinging, you release that and it just allows the person to sort of propel down pretty much, maybe like 50 feet. The reason we have that is because the gorge is so deep that it's the only way down. It's not like we can sort of swing to the side and get on a ladder or get pulled up by a rope. You have to get down yourself and then walk along the bottom of the gorge to get to the pull-up line, which is either attached to an ATV or the back of a car. Because if we were to do it by hand, it would take ages, and not to mention it would throw out our arms or our backs like we did 2 jumps. That rope is heavy as hell. Oh, and that's also one of the ways we got out of the canyon. You can see in the video, Mike actually gets pulled up by the Land Rover there by one of our mates, Simon, which is sort of, not everyone's cup of tea. Some people chose to walk out. And even walking out is a mission and a half. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour. and there's no direct path. You're literally walking through sort of like rapids and over big boulders.
Here's a daredevil cameraman trying not to slide on his ass.
Okay, I'm gonna stand here and guide you guys down. Okay?
If he ends up in the water, we've got a big problem because he's got the cookies in that bag.
There's a wedge there.
This is me, I'm standing on the rock, I'm doing great.
Then you've got like a huge, like 600-foot, like near vertical climb through trees and scree, and so it really takes it out of you. So when it comes down to like a small team like us working it, where you got to get multiple angles, it becomes like a mission, and we spend a good solid 2 weeks just at that site, just sort of setting up, shooting, battling weather, and it just all the variables. It's sort of like, you know, once it's done, you're like, yes, finally. But when you're out there, sometimes you're just like, oh, another walk, you know?
I mean, all of the work that we had to do was made much more difficult by the waterfall. But I think that the waterfall does make it more fun to jump and a much more scenic video.
And shooting in South Africa, beautiful place, great people. Sometimes it's a little difficult to get gear in certain places, but you just sort of prepare for that. And yeah, it's really inexpensive to get around most of the areas.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the most scenic places I've ever been in the world. The whole country is beautiful, but especially out in Magua Falls, Port St. John's area. If you ever get a chance to go check it out, I highly recommend it.
It's like a playground for stuff like this, and we hope to do a few more stunts over there, so stay tuned for that.